I think the longest studies we have are at about a year at 2 grams per pound in one of Jose Antonio's study. And that was pretty long time to consume that much protein. I think your average person is just not going to comply with a study like that. But they basically picked bodybuilders who are already eating a crap ton of protein
Yeah.
from whey shakes. And the difference between whey is when you consume your, bodybuilding whey that's very low carb and very low fat, it's just pure protein, right? Like, so your 30-gram scoop of whey powder is like 27 grams of protein with maybe 1 gram of fat and 1 gram of carbs versus like when you eat a steak, it's 100 grams of steak is only 25 grams. Protein is extremely insulinogenic. Insulin goes way up from egg whites and fish and whey powder. But glucagon goes up as well. So your blood sugar doesn't change at all. That's the difference between, like, if you eat a donut, hugely insulinogenic, and glucagon goes down and your blood sugar goes way up. That doesn't happen with protein. So when you eat protein, insulin and glucagon go up together and your blood sugar stays flat as a pancake. So you can eat like 5 pounds of turkey at Thanksgiving dinner and your glucometer will just be flat as a pancake. So you actually don't care that your insulin went up because your glucagon went up as well. And the ratio doesn't really change. Gluconeogenesis is demand driven, not supply driven. So you can eat, 1 trillion grams of protein, but you'll still only manufacture as much glucose as you need to keep your muscle glycogen topped off and to stay alive. Humans maybe make 70 grams of glucose or something a day. I kind of like eating fewer carbs and more protein and performing a little bit of gluconeogenesis because it's almost like metabolic exercise for your body, right? It's kind of like your body has to work a little harder just to stay alive. And so I kind of like that. I don't recommend people eat these zero carbohydrate diets because, let's say you need 70 grams of glucose just to keep your brain and your red cells alive and all these cell types in your body that don't have mitochondria and that have to burn glucose for fuel. If you're eating no carbs at all, you're going to basically have to break down, 70 grams of protein just to make enough glucose to stay alive. And so it's a little bit protein wasting. Like to be honest, for the average person, just eating 100 grams of carbs a day is going to be somewhat protein sparing because this will spare that much protein that you don't have to use for gluconeogenesis. And so really a carbohydrate intake is on this U-shaped curve where, too high is like the 60% of calories that everybody eats in America, which is a nightmare. But then too low is like these zero carb, keto, carnivore, hardcore things where you're basically not sparing protein, the protein you use to make glucose out of. And it's a little bit smarter to eat maybe 100 grams of carbs a day or more, another gram for every minute of high intensity exercise you do, which is glycolytic and burning glucose. So you're basically replacing at least the glucose you're burning with high intensity exercise and the glucose you need to stay alive and sparing that much protein.
Annotated and summarized. Easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.